how much time is left on the clock for your career? Honestly, I can't give you an answer right now. At 41, the king might be vacating the throne permanently, and his own son Bronny just dropped a hint that sent the entire basketball community into a panic. He is your father, but on the court, how do you flip that switch and focus? It's always in the back of my mind like, whoa, that's literally my dad right there. But folks, the real story brewing in the shadows dwarfs everything else. We are talking about LeBron's exit strategy and a massive Vegas power play. Look, I want to live in the moment. When I know, you'll know. Now listen up, because this is crucial. And if you're loving this coverage, hit that like button right now. I need you to understand this. We are looking at LeBron Raymond James, a Titan who has ruled the NBA for 23 straight seasons. The leading scorer in the history of mankind to ever step foot on the hardwood. That legend is standing at a fork in the road that won't just define his final chapter, but rewrite the future of the entire sport. And that is not hype, that is a fact. Because the intel, the reporting, and the sheer scale of the moves happening behind the curtain demand your full attention. If you have ever watched him play at an elite level over the last 2 decades, you need to hear this. LeBron, walk us through your emotions when you saw that tribute video and the crowd's reaction, especially considering your history and everything you have endured in this city. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that. Now, as of late February 2026, the king hasn't officially called it quits. Obviously, I haven't locked in a decision about my future yet, but it's on the table. Whether it's here or elsewhere, his deal with the Lakers, worth $52.6 million, which he picked up last summer, runs out at the end of this season. That makes him an unrestricted free agent. And before we move on, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss where he lands. Unrestricted means LeBron answers to no one, not GM Rob Pelinka, not owner Jeannie Buss, not even the commissioner. He holds all the cards. But this is where the story gets spicy. Pay close attention, because this specific detail has the basketball grapevine buzzing like a kicked hornet's nest. Insider Eric Pincus from Bleacher Report just dropped a bombshell in late February 2026. The word on the street? There is serious momentum building that LeBron might walk away this offseason to immediately pivot into owning a Vegas expansion team. Now, pause for a second. Really let that digest. We aren't talking about a standard retirement with a crying farewell speech and waving to the crowd. We are talking about a shift from shooting the ball to owning the arena it's played in. That is a whole different ballgame with multi-billion-dollar stakes. Does that change your perspective on the end game and how many seasons we have left to watch you? I'll sit down with my wife, my family, and my team, talk it out. And then I gotta be real with myself. Now, the financial blueprint for this deal is fascinating. Rich Paul, CEO of Clutch Sports and LeBron's right-hand man, is reportedly looking at selling equity in his agency, maybe to UTA, to raise the massive cash needed for a legitimate bid. And don't forget, expansion fees could hit $7 billion per team. So yeah, LeBron needs heavy hitters in his corner. But guess what? He's already got a foot in the door. He holds a stake in Fenway Sports Group, owners of the Red Sox, Liverpool FC, and the Penguins. He isn't a rookie at this. He's been plotting this move for years. Anyone watching closely saw this coming. Rewind to 2022 for a second. Context matters. At a presser in Vegas, LeBron looked Adam Silver dead in the eye and dropped the mic. "I want the team here, Adam. Thank you." That wasn't a joke. That was a calculated declaration from a guy who doesn't waste words. His partner, Maverick Carter, is already in the mix with ownership groups and their company, Spring Hill. Spring Hill, the investment portfolio, the entire media dynasty. It all sets LeBron up as the single most attractive face any new franchise could dream of presenting. Now, Commissioner Adam Silver has gone on record saying the league will reach a verdict on expansion sometime in 2026, with the Board of Governors gathering in March of that year marked as a massive turning point. Silver clarified that they will not be casting votes at that March summit, but the expectation is they will walk out of that room prepared to initiate serious discussions with potential buyers. Las Vegas has emerged as the clear favorite right next to Seattle to lead what most analysts predict will be a 2-team growth, pushing the NBA to 32 clubs. And when you survey the landscape, Vegas already boasts the Raiders, the Golden Knights, the Aces, the A's. Moving to town, Plus, hosting the Summer League and the NBA Cup, that market is screaming that it is open for business. The response from the basketball community was predictable. A blend of hype, skepticism, and the type of wild speculation that makes the offseason arguably more entertaining than the actual finals. Jeff Teague on the Club 520 pod cracked jokes about scenarios where Bron is the player, coach, owner, or even drafting Bronny to run the point. And honestly, knowing the King, you cannot simply brush that off as a joke, because the man has spent his whole career normalizing the impossible. Outlets ranging from heavy sports to Yahoo have labeled this a game-changing shift, while social media has absolutely caught fire with ownership, memes, and theories. But before we go further, smash that like button if you want to see LeBron own a team. Let's pivot back to the retirement clock, because this ownership talk does not happen in a void. It is tied to a cycle of exit strategy drama that has trailed James for years now. Rewind to the Nuggets sweeping the Lakers in the 2023 West Finals. LeBron sat at the mic and told the face-though Lakers on the two-pass globe he had a lot to think about. Insiders later verified to multiple networks that he was legitimately weighing hanging it up after 20 campaigns. The Ringer described the fan base going through the 10 stages of grief regarding his potential exit, ranging from pure shock to bargaining. Then, fast forward to November 2024, post-game against the Grizzlies, where James got brutally real. He told the press, "I am not going to play that much longer. To be completely honest, 1 year, 2 years, whatever it is, I refuse to be the guy who disrespects the game." That quote sent tremors through the association because James rarely slips up on timelines. This current 2025-26 season has only turned up the volume. He was sidelined for the first 14 matchups with sciatica and has been fighting off knee pain and left foot arthritis. His scoring average dipped to 22 points, and he sat out enough contests to forfeit his All-NBA eligibility. Then came All-Star Weekend in February 2026, where James dropped the most mysterious philosophical soundbite yet. He simply said, "Just want to live. Let that marinate." Stephen A. Smith argued on ESPN that James refuses to retire without a farewell tour because he craves the celebration. Meanwhile, Bleacher Report's Andy Bailey proposed LeBron should announce it in 2026 and play a final 2026-27 campaign. But here is the twist that makes the ownership rumor so strong. Not everyone needs a victory lap. If James transitions directly from the hardwood to a luxury suite in Vegas, that might be the ultimate power move in sports history. And that is the lens we need to use when looking at Bronny's recent comments. What did the rookie actually reveal about his father's next step? Now, before everyone starts spiraling and running with narratives about what Bronny did or did not confirm, let me break down every single time this kid has spoken publicly regarding his dad's retirement. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss these updates. The context tells a different story than the headlines suggest. I say this because Bronny is not LeBron. He doesn't do pressers filled with riddles or post cryptic captions. When the younger James talks, he is straightforward. And his quotes about LeBron's future paint a specific picture that carries massive weight when you connect the dots. The most telling interview happened in May 2025, immediately following the Lakers season, when Bronny sat down with Melissa Rowland from Fox Sports. This was his rookie exit interview, a moment when every journalist in the room had one burning question: is the King returning? And Bronny, to his credit, didn't deflect. He responded with a level of honesty that shows he grasps the magnitude of this moment. When asked if he views him just as a teammate or if the thought creeps in that, okay, that is also my dad, he kept it real. He told Fox, yeah, for sure. However long he sticks around, it is always a blessing to be near him. He is locked in. The work he puts in for physique, the mental prep, the whole package. I'm trying to soak up every drop of that wisdom. But hey, really lean in and listen to the subtext here. He isn't announcing his old man's retirement party, but he isn't confirming a return tour either. He talks about however long, a phrase that screams, Bronny knows the sand is running out of the hourglass. He is grabbing every fleeting second he can get. This is a young man sitting on intel the rest of the sports world is desperate for. And he kept going. In that same sit down, Bronny dropped this gem. It is a blessing to learn from him, not just as a Hoopers, but as a father. It is a unique dynamic. It has been an incredible ride, and I am eager to learn even more whether he is still around or not. Whoa, hold up. Did you catch that slip? If he is still here or not, that is not the confidence of a son who's been guaranteed his dad is running it back. That sounds like a guy emotionally armoring himself for a reality that could split two ways. And dropping that nugget on the record with a major sports network? That speaks volumes about the uncertainty looming over the James family right now. Let's rewind to May 2025. ESPN insider Dave McMenamin hopped on the Dan Patrick Show to share a scoop he got from Bronny regarding his rookie highlights. McMenamin revealed that Bronny talked about the surreal feeling of punching the clock with his dad, noting he looks forward to that for years to come. Years, plural. That is optimistic, sure, but it is also hopeful thinking. There is a massive canyon between stating my dad will be here and praying I hope my dad stays. Now, jump to July 2025. LeBron triggers his player option, and the narrative flips from retirement to whether the 2025-26 campaign is the final farewell. Bronny was grinding for Summer League and his sophomore season when the press cornered him again. This time, the younger James cracked the door open on how their household filters out the noise. He told Yahoo Sports, I didn't even see the reports. He called me up, and I was like, yeah, Pops, I have zero clue what you mean. Honestly, I tune all that out. There is so much chatter floating around that I just ignore. He then doubled down, giving us arguably the rawest insight into how King James mentors his heir through the media frenzy. Bronny admitted, we don't discuss it often, but when that buzz gets loud, he just tells me to brush it off. Don't even give it energy. Stay locked into your current grind, because that focus is what elevates your game. I think it is crucial that he reminds me to block out the headlines. I need to stop the tape right there. If you're digging this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives. This is key. LeBron, the most media savvy icon of his era, is coaching his son to wear blinders. That isn't just dad advice. That is calculated crisis management. LeBron knows exactly what he is doing by insulating Bronny from the retirement rumors. It implies the real conversations are happening in the vault, far away from any hot mic. But to truly grasp the gravity of Bronny's words, you have to respect the history these two have already written. On October 22nd, 2024, during the Lakers opener against Minnesota, LeBron and Bronny etched their names in stone as the first father-son tandem to share an NBA floor in a regular season game. They checked in with 4 minutes left in the second quarter, sharing the hardwood for roughly 3 minutes. LeBron reflected on the magic later, saying, that moment, standing at the scorer's table together, checking into the game as one. That is a memory I'll hold forever. I'm constantly thinking, man, that is my dad, because literally that is my father. Bronny, keeping it cool, added, I just go out there, and when the clock starts, he is just my teammate. That is my only focus in that moment. That right there, that is a kid handling pressure no one in the history of basketball has ever faced. Running plays next to the greatest of all time, who also happens to be the guy who raised you, changed your diapers, and drove the minivan to AAU tournaments. The connection goes way deeper than the paint. LeBron grew up without that figure. His biological father, Anthony McClelland, was a ghost in his life. LeBron has spoken passionately about how that void forged him into the father he is today. That pain, that empty space, is the fuel that pushed LeBron to be super present in Bronny's world. It makes this NBA journey infinitely bigger than a box score. He once confessed, as I matured and built my own family, I realized the reason he was absent was the reason I became so mentally tough and so loving to my mother. That context is everything. When Bronny talks about craving more minutes with his dad, he isn't talking about wins and losses. He is talking about a generational curse being shattered in real time under the brightest spotlights imaginable. And listen, King James himself admits it's his kids who are the fuel, encouraging him to stay in the game. He's quoted them saying, Pops, keep chasing the dream. This is your moment. You've held it down. For us forever. So when Bronny talks about how long his dad should play, he isn't just speaking as a locker room teammate. He is voicing a sentiment that has echoed through the James household for years. A conversation that now crashes headfirst into retirement rumors, ownership dreams, and the fate of an entire NBA franchise. Now, notice how quiet Bronny has been in 2026 regarding his dad's exit plan. That silence is deafening. The fact that this typically vocal young man has zipped his lips suggests a major strategy. Shift behind closed doors. And hey, it lines up too perfectly with those Las Vegas ownership whispers that started heating up in late February. But Bronny's own career struggles add a whole new layer of drama to this saga. You have Bronny's battle for minutes versus Bryce's rising stock. But let's address the elephant in the room, the topic LeBron's inner circle avoids like the plague, but the rest of the basketball world can't stop debating. The career arc of Bronny James and the absolute tidal wave of heat this kid has taken since his name hit the draft radar. Real quick, if you're enjoying this deep dive, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next update. Now, here is the raw truth, straight up. Bronny was taken 55th overall by the Los Angeles Lakers in the 2024 NBA draft. And the moment Adam Silver read that name, the nepotism arguments exploded like a gasoline fire. You hear the chatter. Did you see him last night? Nice lob catch. He's developing. He's getting there. That right there sums up the awkward spot Bronny is in. Fans see glimpses of talent, but the narrative always snaps back to the how. Give him 2 years, he'll be a real player. Nah, they should have put that kid in the G League. He needs the reps. These takes are dominating sports radio and social media alike. Look at the rookie numbers from the 2024 to 25 season. Bronny played just 27 games, putting up 2.3 points and 0.7. Rebounds in 6.7 minutes a night, shooting 31%. Those aren't stats that shout NBA ready, and everyone knows it. This is the heart of the controversy. He was shuffled to the league and back to the development squad, caught in a revolving door because of his last name. And look, it's not on Bronny. I don't blame the kid. The heat isn't about his heart, it's about the machine that shoved him into a spotlight scouts knew he wasn't ready for. LeBron made it crystal clear he wanted to hoop with his son, hype trained the world that Bronny was league ready, and basically flexed his legendary muscle to force the issue. He should have gone elsewhere. He never should have been a Laker. His dad strong-armed the front office. Let's bring in the heavy hitters. Stephen A. Smith on First Take didn't pull a single punch, dissecting the situation with surgical precision. He cut through the noise and hit the marrow of the issue. He clarified his beef wasn't with Bronny the person, but with the artificial process that fast-tracked him to the pros. LeBron James put him there, Smith said, and he meant it, with total respect for the father's love. Stephen A. knows LeBron means well, but he highlighted what every scout has been whispering in the tunnels. Everyone I talk to says he simply isn't ready. And Big Perk, Kendrick Perkins, doubled down with a take that became the anthem for the meritocracy crowd. He preached that NBA roster spots are earned, not gifted, and argued Bronny needed a developmental squad that would be patient with him. Perkins pegged Bronny's ceiling as an Eric Bledsoe type with a better jumper, a solid career, sure, but maybe not what the world expects when the jersey says James. The nepotism talk got even hotter when folks revisited Bronny's McDonald's All-American nod, a selection many insiders and talent evaluators felt was unearned. Sources told reporters that jersey was handed out because of the name on the back, not the box score. Stephen A. brought this receipt to the table, arguing that this pattern of lineage over resume started way before Bronny stepped foot on a college campus. His father brought this heat on him, Smith argued, because he hyped him to the world. I want to play with my son in the NBA. That single sentence was the tipping point that nobody can ignore. LeBron didn't just express a wish to see Bronny in the league. He declared his intention to be on the court alongside him. That distinction changed everything. It shifted the debate from is Bronny skilled enough to which franchise is desperate enough to sign them as a package, essentially shattering the merit-based philosophy the NBA claims to uphold. But let's look at the reality of this season. In 2025-26, Bronny has genuinely leveled up, logging 29 games with averages of 2.2 points and 1.2 assists, while knocking down 40% from the floor and a solid 40.7% from deep. That three-point efficiency is a massive leap from his rookie campaign. If you are rooting for the young gun to succeed, smash that like button right now. He has also shown real defensive grit and passing vision, proving there is a legitimate baller developing there. He even dropped 21 points on 64% shooting in a G League matchup, proving that when he steps out of his dad's shadow, Bronny can actually cook. The crew over at Gil's Arena hit the nail on the head, debating whether the hate Bronny receives is even fair considering his unique position. He is literally the only person to ever walk this path, carrying the name of arguably the greatest player to ever touch a basketball. When Nick Young fired back that stepping into the pro arena makes him fair game for criticism, the vibe got intense. You can love the game all you want, but the pros are a different beast. Yes, you can play, but you are going to catch heat for it. That exchange perfectly highlights the impossible trap. Bronny is in. He loves to hoop. He wants to compete. But the second he punched the clock as a professional, every mistake became fuel for the haters who think he doesn't belong. The comparison to Gary Payton II was a great point because GP2 took the long, gritty road to the league without a Hall of Fame father holding the draft hostage. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives like this. Then you had Matt Barnes on All the Smoke bringing some real talk, comparing Bronny's treatment to the hate Deion Sanders' son's face. He called out the weird behavior of grown men bullying children just because they have personal issues with the father. It is weak, it is damaging, and frankly, it is pathetic. Targeting kids with that energy because you dislike their dad, that is soft to me. And it is adults doing this, which makes it worse. Over on Run It Back, they didn't hold back on the Lakers' culture either. The host noted that Jeannie Buss inherited the throne through family ties, so the organization crying about nepotism allegations is pretty ironic. The panel agreed it is just another episode of the soap opera in Los Angeles, where drama pays the bills and controversy is just the morning weather report. But let me switch gears to the next chapter of the James dynasty. While the world dissects Bronny, the other brother is quietly sharpening his tools. Bryce Maximus James, the younger heir, locked in with the University of Arizona as a 3-star prospect and is taking a redshirt year to bulk up. Standing about 6'5" or 6'6" with a pure jumper and serious bounce, Bryce is a totally different animal. He is eligible for the 2026 NBA draft after he sits a year, although scouts currently see him as a late first or second round pick at best. However, Stephen A. Smith dropped a bomb on First Take, mentioning that insiders think Bryce might actually have a higher ceiling than Bronny. This throws a major wrench into LeBron's exit strategy. If the Kings' ultimate dream is to share the floor with both sons, and Bryce needs a few more years to bake, does LeBron keep fighting Father Time, or does he pivot to ownership where he can draft both of them himself? The timeline of LeBron's retirement, the potential Las Vegas expansion team, Bronny's growth, and Bryce's rising stock create a complex puzzle of business and bloodlines that is unprecedented in sports. How this plays out over the next few seasons won't just shape the James family legacy, but the entire landscape of the NBA. That wraps it up for today, fam. Appreciate you tuning in. If you want more updates on the Kings Court, make sure to click on the video popping up on your screen right now.